So,
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Ronline Report. Our guest today is someone I really wasn't very familiar with until just last weekend. Dwayne Quamina made his pro debut at the Phoenix Europa as a 212 competitor after winning the lightweight division of the 2016 USA at 154 pounds. Comes back a year and a couple months later, 195 pounds. Not only did he win his pro debut, he beat somebody that was supposed to be the easy winner of that show, Sean the Giant Killer Clarita. As soon as I heard Sean was doing the show, I'm like, congrats to Sean, because he's going to win. I don't see anybody else on that list I've even heard of. But,
yeah.
Dwayne, you did it. So first
Yeah.
off, congratulations. That was a pretty auspicious debut.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, people didn't know who I was coming into the show. So it feels really good to actually come home with the win.
So let's let people know a little bit about you. First of all, I was surprised, not only do you have a real job, it sounds like a pretty demanding job. You are in your 11th year active duty in the United States Navy, is that right?
Yes, I am.
Wow. So what are some of the places you've been stationed at, and what are your duties in the U.S. Navy?
Aviation instructor mechanic. I fix fighter jets. Yeah, 11 years now. I've been stationed in Japan. I lived there for about 3.5 years. I've been to Singapore, Hong Kong, Thailand, Philippines, Rio de Janeiro, Peru, just a lot of places.
Wow.
Over 20 countries.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've definitely seen the world and experienced some life. So.
Okay. Yeah, because, I've tried to talk to some other guys. Cedric will talk a little bit about it, but I distinctly remember trying to talk to David Henry about the Air Force, and he just never, ever wanted to. He would always say, no. I mean, so I need to know, first off, have they been cooperative with your bodybuilding efforts, and how do you manage the training and the eating that you have to do as a high-level bodybuilder with the schedule that the Navy has for you?
Yeah, they work with me. I'm really good at my job, so I'm in a leadership role, so I just manage people. So that allows me time to eat when I need to, and then, yeah. When it comes to deployments, it's a little tricky with the food and everything. So what we did was we bought a freezer, and we cooked 150 pounds of chicken, put it in the freezer, and we just ate that on the deployment. It kind of sucked. Got a little freezer burn on it, but whatever we needed to do to get it done. So
were you deployed to one of these active, war zones that we have going on?
Oh, no. Just on a carrier. Okay. Yeah. Just on the ship.
So I was looking into you a little bit online, and you had a YouTube video talking about how you got into bodybuilding, and I'd love for you to tell the whole story, because it was a hell of a story. So
yeah.
it all started just 5 years ago. You haven't been doing this that long, really.
No.
And you should let everyone know you're a young guy. You're only 29. You'll be turning 30 next month, but bodybuilding, 29 years old. You're still a young dude. You got a lot of good years ahead of you.
Yeah, thank you.
So tell the story about how this all began one fateful day back in 2012.
Yeah, so I was going to work. I was living in Japan, and I was going to work, and I guess I fell asleep. I didn't see a pedestrian, and I took him out. I hit him. He got hurt pretty bad. He broke his leg, fractured his skull. So I was going through the legal system in Japan, and I was facing like 3 years imprisonment. So being young, I was like, YOLO, you only live once. So I started drinking, partying, fighting, and it was just going down a bad path. And then there was this guy at work. He was like, hey, man, like, you need to vent your stress in a better, positive way. I see you going down a bad path. You should think about working out. And I'm like, this man is crazy. Like, I'm not trying to do that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. So I went, started working out, and then there were some people getting ready for a bodybuilding show, so I gravitated towards them because they knew what they were doing. So I started working out with them and couldn't really keep up. And they made fun of me because I was doing 5-pound lateral raises and I was struggling with it. Yeah. And I don't like to be laughed at. I don't like to lose. So I went out, I bought Arnold's Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding and just started reading. And then I was like, okay, in a year I'm gonna do a show. And then I prepared and I did a show and I thought I looked great, man. I thought I was gonna win the whole thing.
Yep.
And I got there and I saw these people and I was like, oh my God, what is this?
Yeah.
And they looked amazing. So I took fourth place there. My shape carried me.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Todd, who introduced me to Blue Taylor, my trainer now.
Yep.
And we started working together. 4 or 5 months later, I did the Emerald Cup with Blue. I took first place, second overall. Then we went to the Empire Classic, took first in overall.
And this is as a middleweight, right?
As a lightweight.
Lightweight. So you're winning overall shows as a lightweight in the NPC.
Yeah.
Not easy.
Not easy. Then we went to the Oregon Ironman, took first place there. And then Blue said, hey, let's go to USA's. So when we went to USA's, 2 weeks before that, I was on detachment to Vegas. So I'm out drinking, partying. I was like, I'm not going to win anyway. So I didn't have the mental maturity that I needed to be successful. But I ended up taking second at USA's. And then I took a year and a half off. And then I came back. I did the Washington State Championships, took first, and then the USA's took first there. So then I became a pro.
Okay, well, you skipped over some interesting stuff. I'm just going to back you up. You had another, it wasn't like a straight shot for you. You actually had more trouble. You talked about in your video, there was a period where your marriage fell apart, you started drinking again, you stopped training. So, because obviously you got through all that. So I like to have people explain this because there's everyone out here is going through some shit. Or will they are going through it, or they will go through it at some point. And hearing stories about how people got through all that always helps somebody. So tell me about that whole episode.
Yeah, so the bodybuilding is very demanding. So I was neglecting my relationship. I didn't really have the balance that I needed in a relationship. So my marriage started going south, and we started getting divorced. So what I start drinking again and going out partying and fighting, and I ended up getting arrested twice in 1 month for assault and went to jail for about 5 days, posted bail, and then I got all the charges dismissed, but I got 4 years probation. So my probation, it was a long time.
Yeah.
And that really woke me up. I was like, okay, can't make any more mistakes. So I've been on a straight and narrow ever since.
So did you divorce your wife and remarry her?
Yeah, we got divorced and remarried. Yeah, crazy stuff.
It's not as unusual. I actually know someone I'm related to that got divorced and he remarried his wife just to get health insurance coverage again. So it's not that crazy. I'd like you to touch on that because I just interviewed a guy earlier this week, a local pro, Robbie Gold, who lost a relationship while he was prepping for the North American where he turned pro. So I think it's not, I've heard these stories so many times. It is difficult, it's a strain on relationships. So, you've obviously figured out a little better way to balance bodybuilding and all that with keeping a relationship, a marriage. So you got to give these guys some tips. All of us, we need all the help we can get.
For me, what it was is when I was doing it, it was kind of an idea. Like, okay, this is just a hobby. But when your partner realizes that this is who you are and this is what you want to do with your life, it becomes easier for them to understand and accept it. And when you're strict and disciplined with your diet, you're not cheating on your diet. Because when they see you cheating on your diet, they're like, okay, he's cheating on his diet, but he won't make sacrifices for me. So you have to, it's like a business.
Yeah.
And your partner is your customer. So you got to keep your customer happy and show them that you're producing a great product. So,
because you're in a little different situation. I think the majority of bodybuilders meet their girlfriends or wives, and they're already bodybuilders. So these women kind of they should have an idea what they're getting into or what they're in for. They know that this guy's going to be at the gym all the time. He's going to be eating every 2 hours. He's probably not going to be able to go all the cool places I want to go all the time. Like if he's competing or whatever, especially in prep mode, you can't go anywhere really. Obviously, if you do, you got to have your cooler with you in your meal. So your wife was with you as you got into all this. What was it like watching your basic lifestyle completely transform into this? It's a very weird lifestyle we lead with the training
Yeah,
and the eating. That to most people, it's bizarre. How did
yeah.
she handle
I
it?
I think at first she was excited, like I was excited, but then when the neglect started kicking in, it's like slowly she starts falling apart. Like, why am I doing this? Like, oh, he doesn't care about me. He cares about bodybuilding more than me, and you just got to really make time for them. Just like you make time to do your cardio and you make time to do your training, you just got to make time for your spouse and your partner in order to be successful.
I mean, would you agree? I think if this isn't the most demanding sport time wise, I don't know what is. Maybe I don't know if marathon runners or whatever. I don't know who else spends this kind of time, but
Yeah.
it's 24/7. Every waking hour, you're eating, you're meal prepping, you're training, you're doing cardio, you're posing practice, tanning, whatever. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, did you have a tough time adjusting to it yourself? Because you're kind of new to this yourself, really.
Yeah, I'm new to it, but in the Navy, on deployment, we're working 7 days a week,
Okay.
14 to 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
So it's not that hard.
Okay.
Like I can adjust. So
So well, I got to
yeah.
say, compared to a lot of the guys that do this, yeah, you have. I think the Navy did prepare you very well. So
Mhm.
for someone like you, this is no big deal, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess the big news, the big story about you is that you won your pro card as a lightweight, and it
Hmm.
wasn't like you took 3, 4, 5 years off. This was just last year, last
Hmm.
July. So tell me
Yeah.
the timeline. I know you probably had to suffer to get down to 154, and that wasn't probably your natural weight anyway. But
Hmm.
it's still, I don't know how much muscle you actually gained, but even at 40, I don't know if it was 40 full pounds, whatever, even if it was 25 or 30, that's phenomenal. So tell me
Yeah.
the timeline of how you accomplished this.
Okay, so getting ready for USA's, we said okay, we need to be lightweight. I think I started prep around 204, 207 pounds, and we dieted really hard. I remember I was eating about 4 ounces of fish per meal, 6 meals,
Yeah.
and then no carbs. I'd have a quarter cup of grits on Saturday, every Saturday for about 6 weeks out,
Wow.
and we were doing 3 hours of cardio a day. So it was pretty intense. I remember I'd wake up, do cardio, go home, sleep, wake up, train, do cardio, go home, sleep, wake up, do cardio, sleep, repeat.
Wow.
So it was intense, but it paid off. And this time around, life was a lot easier. I was eating a lot more. We still have to limit carbs because if I eat carbs, I just explode. So I was eating about a quarter cup of grits one time a day from about 8 weeks out.
Okay.
So yeah, but my protein intake, it got pretty high at times. In the beginning, it was really low. I could only eat about 4 to 6 ounces,
Yeah.
but then about 4 weeks out, I was eating like a pound of tuna a meal.
Wow.
And yeah, I told my trainer,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Bro, that's way too much, man. You need to cut it back." And yeah, so my appetite, I was able to eat a lot more. We only did about 2 hours of cardio the last 4 weeks, and then yeah, we just trained real heavy. So
So when you were 204, when you started your USA prep,
mhm.
how fat were you, or how lean were you? Because it seems like that's going down going down 50 pounds is excessive. I would only
Yeah,
imagine you had to do that if you were really carrying a
I
ton
was
of
a
body fat.
I was a little chunky. I'd
Okay.
say I was about 23%.
Okay.
And then, so I've been dieting since January of 16. So after USA's, we just jumped right back in, getting ready for the Europa. And I'd say I started prep about 220. Yeah, and then
Okay.
we came down, and everything just clicked, man.
Yeah.
It was just good.
But you
Yeah,
didn't have you never got that 23% body fat again, obviously, right?
maybe 21.
Because I
Yeah.
just read a Facebook post where you're already catching yourself, trying not to rebound too bad.
Oh yeah, yeah. I already gained 18 pounds, but
Yeah.
past shows at this time I'd already gained 50 pounds, so
Wow.
doing
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So, that's a very common thing. I know a ton of, I've never gained 50 pounds, but I mean, it's
Mm,
very common for guys to put 20, 30 pounds on within 2 or 3 weeks after a show. And,
yeah.
it's a dangerous thing because you hold so much water and your blood pressure
Mm,
goes up and everything. So,
yeah.
did you ever have that issue in the past? Because I've known guys had to be hospitalized
Oh
just because
yeah.
they blew up like ticks.
Yeah, I blew up. I used to blow up a lot, but that was my fault, man. Like, it's so funny because when I was an amateur, it's like I fantasized about food. So, okay, I'm gonna prepare, I'm gonna have this meal after my show, I'm gonna get this, and I'd like stock up on all the candy. And then after I got my pro card, it's like I found out Santa Claus wasn't real. It's like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to diet for the
Yeah.
next 20 years. Like,
Ooh.
this is my life. There's no after the show just bulk up or whatnot.
Yeah.
So this is my career now, and it was kind of depressing at first, but it's good now. Yeah.
At what point, when you had started competing, did you decide that you were going to go for this and really try to become a professional and do well?
Hmm. I was just going with the motions, man. Like my trainer, he was like, "Bro, you got great genetics," and I didn't see it, so I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, he believes it. Let's do it. Like, let's see what happens." And yeah, like even with my pro debut, I was super nervous,
Yeah.
but yeah, I came through. So obviously, I got something.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
obviously. So, who are some of the guys in the 212 division, or if there are any, that you look up to and that you're anxious to share the stage with next year at the Olympia?
Okay. Phlex Lewis, I met him about 8 weeks ago. Really great guy. He sat with me for about an hour. We chit chat and it was great. Jose Raymond, great guy. I like him a lot.
My boy.
David Henry,
Yeah.
I want to go up against him. He has a great back. And yeah, I think he's a great competitor. Ahmed Ashkenani,
Mm.
beast. He's a beast.
Talk about a back.
So, yeah. So I just want to get up there with the greats, man. Like I want to go against the best of the best. So
So, you still have a little room to grow. I didn't ask, how tall are you?
I'm 5'4".
Okay, so 5'4", you're 195, and you could still put on. Oh, I'm bad at math. 12, 5. You could still do 17 pounds and be in that division. Goodness
Yeah.
gracious. So,
Hmm.
and considering you put all that mass on in 1 year, you could
Hmm.
probably beat 212 on the dot next Olympia if you really
Yeah.
want to. Is
The
that
goal, the goal next Olympia is 205, 207.
wow?
Yeah.
I mean, you seem pretty balanced, proportionate, symmetrical when I at the pictures and the videos I've seen. So,
Hmm.
is it just overall mass, or are there any areas that you're going to be especially focusing on?
So my back was deficient going into USA's. So we worked that twice a week for over a year, and I have a brand new back. But it could be wider, it could be thicker, it could be more detailed. Like Sean, his back was dense, but that comes with age. So I'm still young, still new to the sport. So in time, my back is just going to get better and better.
Yeah. So
So
that'll be your main focus then moving forward?
main focus
Yeah.
for the Olympia is a wider, harder back and bring up the legs just a little bit more. I got great detail in those, so I
Cool.
like those.
So how would you describe your training style if you had to?
Um, Heavy. In the off season, I focus on about 6 reps till failure.
Hmm.
I'm deadlifting about 635, squatting about 605,
Wow.
benching 405. Yeah, so I got pretty big numbers. Yeah.
Oh, and that's around 220 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
220.
It's not too shabby, guy. Not too shabby at all.
Yeah.
Uh, so now that you've got most of the mass that you need, are you gonna intentionally slow down the rate that you're putting it on?
I'm just gonna take it as it comes. Yeah,
Yeah, I
as
know.
long as my conditioning is good, yeah, we'll be good.
So the sport's gone through some changes, and it's always going to be changing. So, what are some things that you've watched in the brief time that you've been in it change, and what would you like to see change in the future? If there's anything that you'd like to see change.
I don't really have any complaints. I think the addition of classic physique was a really good move. Brings a broader audience. Yeah, I don't have any complaints. They know what they're doing.
So some of the 212 guys do venture out into the open shows from time to time. Is that something that you might give a thought to?
We just have to see, because we don't know. It's like we're in limbo. We're in like uncharted territory. We don't know what I'm gonna look like.
You got one pro
So,
showdown.
yeah. So who knows what I'm gonna look like at 210, 212? Is my stomach gonna stay tight? Is gonna start distending? How much muscle can I pack on? So I'd just like to dominate the 212 class, honestly.
Right on.
And then after that, we'll decide if to go to the open or not.
Yeah. So that's a huge thing that people are talking about is guts. Everyone wants us all the bodybuilders to have little flat tummies, little midsection. So, are you conscious of that? With have you started eating any less, or any exercises you avoid, or anything that you're doing to try to make sure your waistline stays nice and small and your hip, everything stays tight in that midsection?
Yeah, all I do right now is I wear a waist trainer and a belt every time I work out. I don't avoid any lifts. I just lift heavy.
I got to ask you about those waist trainers. Do they actually work for you?
I think they work. Yeah. So I can see the progression. I have to get different sizes, get smaller sizes the closer I get to the show. So.
Yeah, I mean, I've read some people swear by them, and they will document it and say my waist was this. So I just want. I always look for any actual testimony I can get. Because
I went from a 38 waist to a 31-inch waist when I competed. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So where are you at with that? You just won a show. That was only 1 week ago. Or actually, tomorrow was the finals are on Sunday, so it hasn't even been a week yet.
Yeah.
Correct. So where do you do from here? Do you take a little time off, take training, enjoy eating a little bit, or what's your game plan before you kick it all into high gear again?
Yeah. So I can't enjoy eating. My body just blows up. So I'm dieting already. I was having a cheat meal every other day, but we have to cut that off because the weight's going up. So we're just eating clean right now. Training, we're just taking it slow. I can't really train as well because of all the water retention, a lot of stress on my body, so I'm just taking it easy. But once this water falls off, man, I'm going balls to the wall.
Well, I'll tell you, a lot of people are gonna like you because you said that, because whenever we hear about people who can eat whatever they want and they stay ripped and their waist stay tiny, they get a lot of hate. It's only it's not fair that people can get away with eating whatever the hell they want and still be shredded. So you're not that much of a mutant. You are in the aspect that you have these genetics and your physique is phenomenal, but at least it's good to know that you do have to diet like the rest of humanity out there. I've talked to some guys that don't even diet. Dexter used to not diet.
Yeah.
He looked that way all the time when he was younger. He has to diet now. He's an old man like me, so it finally caught up.
I was talking to Sean. I was like, bro, like, how much weight have you gained? He's like, just 5 pounds, man. I was like, you lucky bastard, man. I'm like pushing 18. Yeah. So.
But I think, tell me if this is your observation. Most of the guys that they gain little amounts of weight like that, they're the ones that have trouble putting mass on. Where it seems like you don't seem to have a problem putting on mass. It comes fairly easily as long as you do the work and you eat the food, you grow.
Yeah.
And, you have to watch your body fat. But these other guys, boy, they can't get big to save their lives. I mean, it's a struggle for them to put every little pound on. So nobody's got everything. It would be weird. It'd be a strange world if we all had everything we wanted, wouldn't it? But,
definitely.
Okay. I also wonder, I know you're a dad. How old are your kids?
9, 6, and 5.
So what do they think about all this?
Oh, they like it. They like seeing Daddy on stage. They make fun of me, like do the little poses and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I actually do this for them. I want them to know that like they can do anything that they put their mind to, because what I'm doing is not easy. Yes. By no means think that I think this is easy. This is hard. Yeah. So I just want to be a good role model for them.
Right on. Yeah. Well, what would you say the hardest part? For you, is it the diet? Some people hate the cardio, the training. What's the hardest part for you?
Diet. Yeah. So training is fun. Like, it's stress relief. I go there, I pick up heavy stuff, I feel better. And then the diet, man, because I love to eat, but food doesn't love me. So yeah. But you get used to it. It gets easier. Yeah.
So I want to give you a chance to thank anybody. I see we got this Alpha Intra pre-workout thing. So any people you need to thank, anybody that's a big part of your support system?
Yeah, Blue Taylor is a huge part of my support system. Been with him 4 years, and we've really developed a good bond together. He knows what works on me. Our communication's good. I tell him how my body's reacting, so that's great. Great guy, mentor, friend, yeah, father figure. Um, who else is there? Todd Scott for introducing me to Blue. We've kept a good relationship too. My roommate Ryan, he just did his first show. He was definitely pushing me in the gym. Like he's a dedicated person. Like he be catching me when I'm slipping on my diet. He be like, "You sure you want to do that, man?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god!" Like you got the first timer schooling me, so that kept me honest. This prep. Pat Simon, that's my homeboy. He came down to Phoenix. He prepped all my meals, cooked all my meals, ran all my errands. I just laid in bed and caked up. So he
That's
was
a
working.
that's a true friend.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
saw that man was tired,
Oh my
but he
God.
he, he got it done. Yeah,
And you better thank your wife.
yeah. We're not together anymore. It didn't
Oh, I'm
work
sorry.
out.
I'm sorry. I'm going
Yeah,
by.
it's all
I don't know how
good.
old that video was. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's all good. We this time around, our relationship is a lot better. It's not bitter and hostile.
Okay.
So we communicate often and we communicate with the kids and everything. So
Cool, man.
yeah.
All right, man.
Um,
Well, I appreciate coming on and letting people learn a little bit about you. I wanted to find out who this guy is, this Dwayne Quamina guy. Never heard of him, and he comes out and wins the show and beats my boy Sean. So,
yeah.
and I saw the pictures. I was like, wow, can't believe we
Yeah.
never heard of this guy. Because the last time we saw you, you were about half that size. That's why. So,
Yeah.
yeah, big things ahead for you, guy. Big things ahead. We're all excited. It's great to have fresh new talent in the sport, and we're
Mhm.
all going to be watching you and hoping for the best for you. It's as the months and years come by. So we'll be in
Yeah.
touch. We're all going to be keeping an eye on you and your career. So,
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
so appreciate you coming on for the Ronline Report. This has been Ron Harris with brand new pro and already pro champion Dwayne
Mhm.
Quamina.